So it was this, or is this beautiful topic about how we have possibility in this lifetime to realize our spiritual identity, in which relation we are, and how to come closer to the lotus feet of our Srimati Radhika and meditate on our relationship. I will repeat again this verse. Very, very famous verse. Sadhane e dhana chai siddha dehe taha bhai pakka pakka matra se vichar. The treasure I desire as a practitioner, I will get when I attain my spiritual body. It is just a question of being ripe or unripe. Apake sadhana riti pakile se prema bhakti bhakti lakshana tatvasar. The ripe stage is the stage of pure loving devotion, and the unripe stage is the practice, or the stage of practice. That is the essential truth about devotional principles. And the whole paragraph is called the essence of the truth. So Gurudev mentioned also, whenever we speak about this subject, how important it is for our bhakti to become one pointed in a special, aspired or desired relationship. He often says that what is the use of practicing bhakti or devotional service when I have gotten, so much mercy and I can understand who I am, but then I practice in a different direction. Means just like a religious behavior, following certain rules, but not going on in an inner development of a real dasi of Srimati Radhika. So we can understand that our Shri Gurudev is so much happy when we as disciples are deeply going in that direction and really trying to realize who we are. And last time our dear Jayananda Maharaj was here, and he said it starts with the soul level, that I am not this body, I am a spiritual soul. And then it continues from that soul level on. We can develop our spiritual identity. We get some, blessings from Gurudev for that. We get our Diksha initiations. We are practicing the mantras, the Kama Gayatri and Gopal mantras especially. And also after that, it is possible that we get Siddha Pranali mantras from our Gurudev, or initiation into, not mantras, initiation into the Ekadas Bhav, which are the definitions of our spiritual identity, means which kind of dress I am wearing, what is my name, what is my service, and so on. So that is actually a direct mercy of Srimati Radhika that is channeled through Shri Guru. That is a very important, how do you say that? It's a mercy. It's nothing to be understood by the mind or by the logic. It is a mercy to go in that direction. Like Jesus, for example, generally said, we are all the children of God. That is also true. Like in Bhakti, generally we say we are all the servants of God. That is also very true. But here, there's one sentence that is coming from the Patalakanda and the Padma Purana, a description how to meditate on one specific orientation in a spiritual, we call it also Bahadeva, or we could say a soul body that is full of emotions for the service to my Ishtadev, which is in our case Srimati Radhika. So that is another step in our bhakti, that we realize, oh, what I am chanting, I am praying, it is the goal of this Prema Bhakti. Means I am practicing, although I am in this world, I have my all, responsibilities, but I learn how to be in all of this, in my spiritual identity, in my spiritual service, and develop that. And therefore they say, unless the sadhaka is a god, he cannot worship Godhead. So what is the meaning of this? This means that unless I realize myself as a close servant of Srimati Radhika, I cannot go there with this body, right? This is a sadhaka deha. This body that you have and that I have is a body to practice love and devotion. But this is not the body in the spiritual world, in the higher realm. You understand?
Yes.
It's not possible. Why? Because this body, it came from this world. It will stay in this world. But what we are practicing now, what Gurudev is giving us encouragement, that we take on another identity of a eternal body, which is made from love, which is made from spiritual energy. And the thing is that Sri Guru has the power to be a channel of this body, which has been or is being given by Srimati Radhika. Gurudev often is saying this. This is not given from me. It's not my imagination. It has come by meditation, by the purity of the heart of Sri Guru, who is maidservant of Srimati Radhika. It's coming into our hearts and is being revealed there in the process of devotional service. Jai Gauravani and Braj Sundari, Radhe Radhe. Please help me. It's such an important topic. Please help me, Gauravani and Braj Sundari. So unless the sadhaka is a god or becomes godly, saintly, or realize I am eternal, but I have also an eternal identity. I have a body which is made from spiritual emotion and which is from a different dimension. It comes down by the mercy of Gauranga, Nityananda, and Guru Tattva, and also by the mercy, of course, by our Swamini. She is also inviting us to feel ourselves on this dimension of spiritual Siddhadeha. And that is the subject, how to establish into that while being in this world, but knowing that also we are not of this world. That is very interesting subject. It's a revelation that happens also from heart to heart and also by my own meditation. And with that spiritual body, with that Siddha Deha or perfected anti-material body, can we say like that, or spiritual love body, soul body, there's maybe different words. We try to somehow word it, but I think it is beyond also, because it is a mercy to perceive myself in this and to get this full realization of this. But with this spiritual body and this identity, I can meditate how to serve Srimati Radhika like a Tulsi Manjari. And Gurudev often is telling also, I'm meditating, I am like when we are offering prasad, for example, boga, which has not been tasted by Radha and Mohan, then you meditate that you give this to Guru Manjari and she is giving it to Radha Mohan. That would be one part of our practice, how to learn to do this internally also. We do it externally. We are having our we are cooking in the kitchen. We are making a nice plate and we are going to our Thakujis and internally meditating in my spiritual body, in my spiritual identity. I will give this to Guru Manjari and she will offer this to Radha Mohan. Like this. In the Siddha Pranali that is received from the lotus feet of Sri Guru within the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the acquaintance with this body is attained. So first of all, there's an acquaintance. Gurudev often gives this example from his life. He got this acquaintance and he says, oh, but I put it in the almirah, I put it in my cupboard, I put it in my, wherever, in my bookshelf. And then I didn't look at it anymore. I just thought, oh, that's very nice. Good information. But he says, no, this is to be practiced. This is to be applied. And this is also a very, very, how do you say that? It's a very intimate and very personal meditation in which I will approach my, how do you say, eternal self. In a way, it's already there. The reality to be an eternal soul is already practiced in Bhakti. But then to put this inside, that feeling that Gurudev gave us at the time of the Siddha Pranali initiation, that is also something to be practiced. So first acquaintance, and then it is attained. It says it's attained. And Baba says no one should consider this to be imaginative. This is eternal and real. Of all the innumerable above-mentioned forms situated in the abode of the Lord, there is one form in which the Lord will accept the sadhaka. So innumerable, like we have also heard that in Vaikuntha Loka, the bodies are with the 4 arms, right? But now in this Braja Loka, the bodies look like the normal human bodies. They have 2 arms and they have beautiful, dresses, and they have the feeling of Braja or Braja Bath. So that is an interesting topic, and I would like to listen from Gauravani. We often share on this. Please also share your feelings on this, or add if I, something that I forgot. That would be nice, because it's important for devotees to listen from the experienced bhaktas and brothers and sisters. If you would please share something on this, Gauravani, it would help so much.
Radhe Radhe. My loving hugs and my obeisances to all of you. Actually, you said experienced, so I'm out.
What?
You said experienced devotees, so I'm out. Sorry. I'm living from theory. But actually what you said is acquaintance. Acquaintance means also, first of all, the base of Sambandha. If there is no Sambandha, there cannot be any acquaintance. So actually, Sambandha is the base of all. And actually, I think that many people are still hanging there, a missing link. What is Sambandha actually? What is the real Sambandha? The Sambandha is not beginning, like you said so nicely, from this material body. It cannot. There is no Sambandha from something like dead matter to spiritual living being. It cannot be. Like we are used to have a Sambandha with our car. We are a living being and we have Sambandha with our car. Somebody scratch our car, we get nervous or very angry. But actually it's that matter. It doesn't matter. Because it
doesn't put the car.
it's that matter. It doesn't matter if the car broke or not. Because it's just for transporting us. And like you said, we have to actually really get this acquaintance. So that means actually only the person in the car can have this relationship, right? Not the car. So like that, our body is here. It's a car. It's useful to bring us from A to B. But actually, it's not the person. It's just the car. So this body is not the one who actually has Sambandha. So now actually we have to start to realize us as a spiritual person. And that means we have to actually get some relation, first of all, to us, our Siddha Deha. That's the first. And then from that Siddha Deha, we can have Sambandha. Without that, it's just an imagination. It's not really Sambandha. So we have to get rid of the car and make Sambandha from person to person. Like you so nicely said, actually, we are godly. We are spiritual. So God is spiritual. Love is spirit. Actually, this is the real spirit, even for God. Love herself. So we have to have actually a relationship with love, and this is only possible through feelings. So our first point, most important point, is that our feelings consciously get connected with the feelings of love herself. So that's the first step actually. And therefore we have to feel. So everything starts with feelings. And in this way, there are no bad feelings. We have to go through our feelings to come to the highest feelings. So even if there sometimes may be bad feelings in the beginning, we should not restrict them, but go through it actually, because it will come from the bad to the good and then to the highest. And this is actually the way. And like Gurudev said so many times, people nowadays, they want to be dead matter, right? Like, that's dead. Dead matter means to feel nothing. And this is actually the mainstream in this world. everything is impersonal. You go shopping, impersonal. Everything you do nowadays is impersonal. It's without feelings, without sambandha. And we are actually exactly going in the other direction. So this is just what came into my feelings when I heard you speak like that. Sorry. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, so nice. Yes, the feelings is very important. And we learn how to feel in our spiritual identity from those who are living in their spiritual identity. Of course, like you said, we are also going through our, process of purifying our feelings that we have here. And we had just the other day, Gurudev was, we were discussing, how this love of Srimati Radhika is coming and how it is also touching Krishna. And we were having a very beautiful morning class where this was the subject. And then Gurudev shared this morning that Krishna, when Srimati Radhika is so much overwhelming Krishna, then he is in Alad Ras. He called it Alad Ras. Alad means that pleasure-giving potency or Ladini Shakti. So when Krishna comes in this feeling, then he even forgets himself and he gets so much overwhelmed by the alad or the, that overwhelming, loving extent. So it was, of course, when Srimati Radhika was giving the kiss, the internet had to fail because also this internet is in Vrindavan. So she got the kiss, and then he got completely again, lost his composition. And Gurudev was saying, and when the servants of Srimati Radhika, or we as sadhakas, when we get this, pleasure-giving potency in our hearts because we have received so much mercy also, and we have so much eagerness to serve and to go deep with this subject, then we have Srimati Radhika is coming in the heart of a sadhaka, into the heart of a devotee, in the energy of Bhakti Rupini. She is giving that Bhakti in our hearts that will also help us to grow in our Bhakti, grow in our service, and grow in our self-realization as a Dasi of Srimati Radhika. That was the subject after listening the morning class. And here we hear same thing, that when on the strength of the meditation of Sri Gurudev, on the strength of his meditation, Sri Gurudev is aware of this spiritual identity in which the Lord will accept the sadhaka, and he is conferring the proper siddhadeha to his disciple. So there is a very personal relationship between Guru and disciple, in which Sri Guru will give that beautiful service of Srimati Radhika and also empower the disciple to live and to meditate in their spiritual identity. And while the sadhaka performs his sadhana, he establishes his self-esteem into this form. And when he attains Prema Siddhi, he is blessed with direct devotional service within this body. So that is eternal and real, Baba says. So we are performing devotional service now in the sadhaka deha, And we are doing, many things like cleaning and cooking and singing, and we are doing many, many things, each of us according to our circumstances. But there will be a time in that way that Sri Guru will see by the strength of his meditation. Of course, like you said, Gauravani, there must be a sambandha. There will be only this when there's a relationship. Because Sri Guru will see that disciple, and he told me also, I will observe that disciple. It's not only, oh, very nice, yes, you're also chanting Hare Krishna. No, he will observe the disciple, means he will also have a look at our behavior, in our hearts, in our habits, in all of these aspects of our personality, especially to be a dasi of Srimati Radhika. And then he will meditate, and then Srimati Radhika will confer the proper Siddha Deha to the disciple through Sri Guru. So isn't that beautiful? That's one of the most beautiful things that can happen to us in this lifetime, if this channel is opened, and if I myself also keep the channel alive and open. That is my homework. That is my consciousness training, conscious training of our soul identity, our soul body, and our relationship with Sri Guru, and also relationship with Guru Manjari, and our relationship to Swami. That is one of the most beautiful things that can happen to one disciple who is a pupil or student in the school of Prema. And as we know, Rupa Goswami had one of his most best disciple was Raghunath, or is Raghunath Das Goswami. And he was practicing what he got from his Gurudev, his pranali, his perfected form and identity at Radhakund. And then he writing his prayers in the form of Vilapa Kushmanjali, and he was very much super connected in that, and there was nothing else in his consciousness. On the strength of his meditation, Sri Gurudev is aware of this, and conferring the power of the proper Siddha Deha to the disciple. While the sadhaka performs his sadhana, means while we are singing, dancing, chanting, while we are offering flowers to our, Thakurji, while we are stringing garlands, while we are cooking, while we are doing anything to deepen our bhakti, or while we are listening katha of Sri Guru, katha of Sri Vilapa Kushmanjali, all of these practices, while the sadhaka performs his sadhana, he establishes his self-esteem into this form. And I remember there was one, also another Rasika Vaishnava here with Gurudev, and we were asking them also, how do you practice your sadhaka in your spiritual body, and how do you remind yourself, And he says, yes, I just wake up and I always meditate. I am Radha Dasi, I am Radha Dasi, I am Radha Dasi, and then put in the name that you have got. Remember the form, remember the color of your dress. And so then a self-esteem is established. Self-esteem means I feel like that. It's not a theory anymore. I feel it. And I love it. And I just want to improve myself in this. And then how to also apply in our daily lives, first of all, observations where I am again dropping back into my male behavior in the consciousness of controlling and, wanting to be the, how do you say that? Best person to make my own destiny. But this is not the feeling of a mandri. A mandri, a dasi, is always depending on Srimati Radhika and of Guru Mandri. So this is a thing to learn, to give up independence and to grow into these devotional feelings of I'm yours. Every day here we are singing this Tavai Vasmi. So this is an application also. It means it has a feeling. It's a feeling, and it's a beautiful feeling that is full of devotion and full of surrender and full of loving feelings of intimacy and belonging and, there's no separate agenda than this. And if Shri Gurudev will see that disciple is ready for this, then he will give. And according to our, practice, how much we are practicing it, then that will be realized. It will be attained like anything here in this material world. If I want to be a dancer, I have to practice dancing. If I want to be a singer, I practice singing. If I want to be a cook, I need a cook to help me to learn the recipes. I will look how they cook and how they put the spices together, which vegetables they use, and how to cut the vegetables. Nowadays you can learn many things online, but these things are not to be practiced online. The spiritual identity and the learning how to feel it and how to grow into that, we need association of Shri Guru and those disciples who have already developed it more into their own sadhana and more vibrating in that energy, and we will feel it. It will come. Naturally, it will be developed because, like Narottam Das Thakur says, it's from unripe to ripe stage. So while the sadhaka performs his sadhana, his spiritual practices, he establishes his self-esteem into this form. And why is this so important? If I don't become conscious about how it feels and what does it mean to be a servant of Srimati Radhika, I will not make any progress. It will be back to the suffering and the duality of the material world. It will be back to competition. It will be back to non-loving behavior, to anger, greed, jealousy, and suffering from this. And when he attains Prema Siddhi, he is blessed with direct devotional service within this body. So Prema Siddhi means the perfection in the divine love realms. Means it becomes a reality. It becomes, it's like another door is opened to an eternal, internal identity, which is now shining through all the time. And this morning also we discussed a little bit that Gora Sunda said when the devotee, especially also Rasikas, when they are growing older, then they always look young, right? Often they see Gurudev and they say, what, you are 80? Right? They see it in the pictures. They don't believe this is our Gurudev. He became 81 already. You know, that because now the Siddha perfection, that eternally perfected identity and that blissful, full of Bhakti Rupini, shining and vibrating heart will be shining through our identities. And that is one of the signs in Bhakti that we are progressing, that the suffering will mitigate. Because even the suffering, it can, if someone is very advanced, it can be transformed and it can be completely overcome in a much shorter time as it would be according to our karma. But that was changing our karma here in this world, is to serve love, to become loving and saintly and develop a saintly heart and develop our self-esteem into our spiritual identities. And it's very rare to find souls who are wandering around on this planet Earth who are doing this connection and giving this channel and giving this service. So we are very lucky. We feel very lucky. Just as a fruit is bitter in the unripe stage and sweet and juicy in the ripe stage, similarly, when sadhana bhakti ripens, it becomes known as Prema. Although in the stage of sadhana, the relish is slightly transient due to the presence of anarthas and so. In the stage of Prema Bhakti, the relish is very deep. So here's the answer, why we don't taste it. Why don't I taste anything? Why am I so dry like a leaf that is dried in the sun? Again, I will read. Although in the stage of sadhana, the relish is slightly transient due to the presence of anarthas and so. So means there are coverings and there are blockages. And it's mostly because of our ego that is saying, oh, I am this and this person. I was born in this country. By profession, I am an engineer or a computer expert or whatever. I am a housewife. Whatever we think we are, that is actually it's not the reality. We are covered by so many different feelings of who we are that we are stuck in this kind of blockages that we are not feeling anything because we are still feeling with the old body, so to say. We are still feeling in the old karmic cycle of all my stories that have been and are ongoing in this world. So, and then it's only slightly coming through. This bhakti is just starting to grow, and it's growing, but it takes maybe some time until my identity is less in this material body, but more in my spiritual identity and more on the soul level.
The question arises.
Yes.
How can I do it?
by chanting. Chanting is most important, and good association. Then you always feel blissful.
Yes. Maybe I'm just not patient enough.
We have to be patient. Yes, it's true. Takes some time.
Yeah.
It takes. Like when you were getting your profession, it took time, right?
Yeah.
How many years you were in apprenticeship?
4 years.
4 years, see? And then you became a master?
No.
Then you just started.
Then the next 4 years started.
Right.
And the next 4 years started.
Yeah, so that is also in spiritual life. I mean, one cannot say it in days or in years, no? Because like for some, they have done already some spiritual practices in last lives. We have here babies that are born in Vrindavan that have already so much past life sukritis, they can start chanting when they are 1 or 1.5, as soon as they start to speak. So we can see that there are different souls with different backgrounds. But according to our background and our desire to really go for it, it will happen. No, it will happen. But of course, when we have no association and we don't really put a lot of, practice, then we fall back into our old worlds. It's natural. Then you are your old self. But we are knowing about another self that is coming to grow now, your spiritual, your soul self. And that we want to develop. And that it's coming step by step, like unripe banana. If you pick a banana which is very green, it will not be yellow in an hour or so from the tree. It takes some time. Some fruits, they take longer, and some fruits also very fast. Depends on also a lot of factors. Just as a fruit is bitter in the unripe stage and sweet and juicy in the ripe stage, similarly, when sadhana bhakti ripens, it becomes known as prema. Although in the stage of sadhana or practice, the relish is slightly transient due to the presence of anarthas and so on. In the stage of prema bhakti, the relish is very deep. By saying Appake Sadhana Gati, Srila Thakur Mahashai is hinting at some of the principles of sadhana bhakti. One of the meanings of the word gati is flow. Just as the Mandakini river constantly flows towards the ocean and will not stop unless and until it reaches the ocean, similarly, the Mandakini flow of sadhana bhakti constantly flows towards the ocean of prema bhakti. So here Baba gives this example of the flow of the river. The flow of the river always goes to the ocean. But the river is also patient until it reaches the ocean. But as long as there is a flow, it will go on. Problem is only when there's blockage and there's no more flow. So we are working also and praying that by the mercy of Shri Guru and all Vaishnavas, these hindrances, blockages will be overcome. But the flow is always going towards the ocean of prema bhakti. Although its fruits are compared with ripe and unripe stages, still the thirst for prema bhakti remains constantly awake within the heart of the sadhaka, thus constantly awakening the tendency towards sadhana bhakti within him that will lead him to the kingdom of Prema. So that is important here. That's sentence that the thirst should constantly remain awake in the heart of the son. Like, yeah, how long will it take? You know, the children, when they are in the car and mama and daddy are driving, how long? Are we there already? And the parents say, yes, we are almost there. But then, how long? So that is the natural thirst also that we should have when we are meditating on the level where we are with the love and devotion that we have in the association. That is the blessing where there are so many bhaktas who already are so ripe, where you smell the sweet fruit is shining through, very sweet and very fragrant and very attractive. But if we are not thirsty, it takes more time. We have to be very thirsty. So we have to plan, I will do this and I will do this, especially when we have a good opportunity of no financial problems, no more jobs to do, no more bills to pay. Well, I mean, there's always something. But, more or less, when this stage is there, and you are in the stage, you can consider yourself lucky, and the flow of the river is very strong, right? You can take care that this will be very strong. Your river flow will be, wow, without any blockage by the mercy of Gurudev. It will be very fast. Although its fruits are compared with ripe and unripe stages, still the thirst for Prema Bhakti remains constantly awake within the hearts of the sadhaka, and thus constantly awakening the tendency towards sadhana bhakti within him that leads him to the kingdom of Prema. Oh yes, Keshava Priya is still here. I want to share something, Keshava Priya, that Gurudev was saying about you when your husband arrived here 1 week ago. So he said, that is a very good wife. She sends her husband to Vrindavan. She is staying back with the kids. She takes care of all the housework. She does everything herself. But she has such a firm faith that when my beloved goes to Vrindavan, then the whole family has a benefit. The whole family and our whole situation will grow, and it will be more thirst in our hearts, and the river is going to flow more and more. And that is what happened. That happens to everyone, especially here in Vrindavan. In a very short time, it is possible to make very, very good river flow. To dry, if there's any dryness, it will be removed. So Gurudev. Radhe, yes.
Radhe. Yes, I just wanted to share that it's like when he went there, it's like I went there with him.
Wow.
I was so happy to say that I felt like I was there with him. Yes. So it benefits. Yes. Sorry about my English, but yes.
Thank you. So
Yeah. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. That point is consistent in this part of the Tripadi. That point that there is a flow that will guide us or help us to develop our hearts from unripe stage to ripe stage, from sadhaka deha to siddha deha, from identifying with my material body and it's all the stories connected to it, to coming to my dasi bhav into my internally perceived spiritual body, and also meditations which are helpful for that, how to do my service for Srimati Radhika and Sri Guru Mantra. Another meaning of the word Gati is that sadhana bhakti is the means to attain prema bhakti, but is also the goal itself. This means that it embodies prema bhakti, which has been indicated in the example of the ripe and the unripe fruit. So like we say sometimes, the way is the goal. Sadhana bhakti, if it's done with a relationship, what Gauravani said, with sambandha, with our feeling of who I am as a dasi, and what Gurudev is giving us, giving us that form, that name, that service, and to live in this more and more, and to grow this more and more. We could say also that this path is already the goal, and it will guide us to prema bhakti. Or it means that sadhana bhakti is both the means and the goal. Yeah, that's what I just try to. Because the relish of sadhana bhakti is also not less. Yes, so the relish of sadhana, practicing it, is also very beautiful. It's very, how do you say that? It's such a hopeful and loving and peaceful and harmonious way to grow into it, that our personalities will be highly elevated. All of our individual personalities, they are beautiful already, because we all, like Gauravani said, we are spiritual. But we have a potential to become and be the dasis of Srimati Radhika. And the beautiful thing is, when Sri Gurudev is seeing this potential, he is enhancing it. He is encouraging me. Yes, I can feel the dasi in yourself. Are you feeling it also? You want to be the dasi in your spiritual identity that I can feel in you. So for me, that was always, or is always, the most powerful inspiration, when my Sri Gurudev, my Sri Guru Mantra, is just letting me feel that I am her dasi in the service of Srimati Radhika. Even the Premika Bhaktas desire the relish of sadhana bhakti. Means even if someone is already in the ocean of prem, in that ocean of divine love, they still like to listen, to hear, to chant. They like to do all the things that everyone does. And this time, the Gurudev also again said, I cannot live without hearing Milap Kushmanjali. I just can't. And that is the sign of someone who is already so much advanced. They don't do anything less. They just do it in another bath. Their feelings have been, let's say, completely developed or refined, but that doesn't mean they stop the practice. Those who relish ripe mangoes also like the taste of unripe mangoes in the form of mango pickles, for example. Super nice. Another meaning of the word gati is to sort. Then apake sadhana gati means the stages of sadhana bhakti from sharada, faith, up to the fully ripe stage. In some editions of this book, we can find the reading apake sadhana riti. Here, riti is understood to be indicating the aforementioned sequence. So that's interesting. Now, Baba is giving so many examples of the meaning of the word gati. It can mean a way, it can mean a sorting, it can mean, so many things. Relishing in the stage of the way or so, or the way is the goal, and everything is possible because it cannot be separated, and that's very nice. Like when we are going to school and we are the beginners, we are doing A and B and C, A and B and C. This will not be counted as less important than going to college and getting a degree. Because without the A and B and C, without learning how to write and to count or whatever, it will not be possible to write a doctor's thesis, right? So we cannot say that it's not important to learn the A and B and C. Everything is important, especially, if we are going thirsty on it. Thirsty. We're not like, oh my God, it's so boring. No, oh my God, I get to learn the A and B and C, and there's 24 letters, and these 24 letters make up the whole words and sentences. I don't know, in Japanese, maybe you have different, not 24, you have more, huh? Isn't that? So to be excited, it doesn't matter which stage we are. So from whatever point we are looking and feeling it, it is a blessing, it can be happily applied, and it's not very difficult. Only most difficult part is to give up false ego. But this is natural because now for, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, we have been used to think I am this and that. And the mind and the senses, they have brought about many more ideas of who I am and what I am. Now we are coming to our spiritual and eternal self. That needs to be, old stories need to be sorted out. Srila Thakur Mahashai says this is Bhakti Lakshana Tattvasar, meaning that whatever is desired during the stage of sadhana is attained at the time of siddhi. The only difference is that it is unripe in the face of sadhana and ripe in the face of siddhi. This is the essence of the devotional principle. The characteristics of the essence of the principle of bhakti are selfless service to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, or we would say to the lotus feet of the Supreme Beloved of them, our Srimati Radha. There is no comparison to the pure and selfless service of the manjaris to be found anywhere, because they embody the summit of selflessness. They embody the all in all of selflessness, means they have such a purity in their heart that they desire nothing for themselves but everything for the service, and thus they become completely immersed in the ocean of Srimati Radhika's lotus feet, in the ocean of the service of Mahabhav Swarupa. There's no comparison to that. So I think our session is over today. Thank you all for being with us and for your blessings and your love and your enthusiasm to listen these beautiful topics and drink it with your ears and flow to the ocean of prayer in the daily activities as much as we can.